everyone, it's Lindsay from the Daily Lindsay. Thanks for stopping by today. It is the Great Purge, time for the purge of 2015. Every year I like to go through my makeup, take stock of things that I've used, things that I haven't used, and just toss out the things that aren't working for me. And I've tried, trust me, I've tried to make these things work. So I thought I would share some of these things that I'm throwing out. I've got a great big bag here to throw everything in, and I've got it all laid out in front of me. So let's have some fun and I guess go through my trash. That's so weird. First up are eyeshadows. Let's talk about this Wet n Wild color icon in Blue Had Me at Hello. There are 2 rows of 4, so a total of 8 eyeshadows with some really helpful instructions. You know, it says eyelid, brow bone, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And which is great, but it didn't really go with my skin tone. I couldn't really make it work for me. I was really drawn to this like peacock blue kind of a color, really like that, but I just wasn't really happy with the pigmentation. Well, the pigmentation was good. It was just a hot mess when I did the look on my eyes. You know, from the Drew Carey show, that character Mimi, I never really watched the show, but she was very iconic, obviously, because of her bright blue eyeshadow. I felt like her when I wore this, so unfortunately, this is getting tossed. Next item is this Maybelline Sun Baked Neutrals eyeshadow. This is going in the trash. As you can tell, I don't know how far away, as you can tell, like the applicators are turning yellow. The spongy area is turning yellow. So this means that I've had it for a while and I haven't really found like a reason to reach for it. There are other less, like not as expensive eyeshadows that I would reach for before this. And so yeah, definitely just taking up space in my drawer, and this is going out the door. Let's talk about face products. Unfortunately, this CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation in the color 845 Warm Beige was actually a really good match for me. Unfortunately, it broke me out. I know that this is a really popular foundation here on YouTube. In theory, I was really excited to try it out because it just works for a lot of people on YouTube, you know, and it's a good, affordable drugstore foundation. But like I said, I broke out, and if it makes me break out, I can't make it work. The other thing I'll be tossing is this Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the color Sand. Not really, you know, it was doing its job for a few years. I really like this. This is my drugstore concealer, like my go-to concealer at the drugstore. But since I turned 30, like last year in 2014, it's just, I need a little bit more coverage under my eyes now. I don't know if like my body just knows I'm aging, it's time to show some signs of age, I guess, but it just kind of happened overnight. So this is a nice light concealer on my skin, but I need something a little bit more thicker, and I've turned to more of like a high-end concealer now, and that does the job. So this is just taking up space, and it's time to toss it. I love NYX products, but these are things that I haven't been reaching for, and this is just a terrible, I mean, what was I thinking when I bought this? It's like a lilac kind of a color. It's called Baby Pink, even though it looks like lilac. They're calling it baby pink. It's too white based and just looks really crummy on my lips. It's just not a good match. There, you can kind of see it on my hand swatched, but it's just not gonna work with my dark tinted lips naturally. So fortunately, that's a toss. Next item is this NYX Glam Shadow Stick. It's in the color Fard, or sorry, no, it's Glamour. That's another language that I'm not gonna attempt to guess, but it's in the color Glamour. It's a really pretty, like between a copper and rose gold. I don't know how well you can tell from back there, but you know, if you're looking for a drugstore shadow stick, you know, I would recommend this, but I just don't find myself reaching for it anymore, so time to throw that out. I really like my Mally shadow stick. That's kind of been my go-to, and it's a similar color. So it's just time to move on from NYX. Sorry, little guy. Eyeliners. I am trying my hardest to master the eyeliner. It takes a lot of patience. I'm just not one of those people who can apply it and go, whoosh, I'm done. I need like a good 5 to 10 minutes, depending on my day and how much coffee I've had, to apply it. So I tried a couple last year. I tried the Milani Eye Tech Extreme. This seemed to dry out really fast for me, or I just used up the product like within like 2 or 3 weeks, and I feel like an eyeliner should last longer than that, right? But I kind of just held on to it thinking, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, but it's just taking up space, and that is time to go. I was really happy with the formula, but it just doesn't seem worth it to me to like buy it every 3 weeks or so. So, too bad. Next up is this I Do liquid liner from Ico. Now, I really like the tip on this. It's very fine, and it's almost kind of like a pen almost. And I don't know how well you can tell from back there, but it seems like a good eyeliner. And the thing that doesn't work for me is when I build the eyeliner, once it dries, it gets this like layer of like shininess to it. So if you try to build on it, it doesn't work. I guess you just have to be really fast at applying eyeliner and just not go back for any touch-ups, because that's kind of what I encountered with this color. I've got this Eye Duty Triple Remedy eye cream. Now, it was good while it lasted, but can you see this here? The tip, I failed to put the cap on all the way, and I took it on an airplane, and it just like oozed out, and I just couldn't work with it anymore. So this was an investment, and I'm really disappointed to be throwing this out, unfortunately. And you know what, like overall, after using it for a few months, yeah, there's that immediate sensation of cooling under the eyes, but it would kind of like bunch up, and it wasn't like a good kind of match. It was like trying to be a concealer almost, but it just had like this weird texture to it that I couldn't like really blend well into the skin. Let's talk about a few e.l.f. products. I love e.l.f. Right when I was like trying out makeup and just getting started and trying to figure out which colors I liked and was drawn to, I started with e.l.f. That and NYX. So it was a really good way to like dip my toe into the pool of like, you know, makeup before investing into more higher end brands. So this was a color I really liked, but I don't reach for it anymore. It's called Blushing Rose. It's this beautiful, like deep, oh, and it's kind of looking crummy already in the inside, but it's this deep color. It's pretty good pigmentation, nothing like NARS. I feel like NARS is like tops when it comes to color depositing and all that. So this is a good starting color if you're just getting into makeup, you don't want to spend a lot of money. Another one is this color called Candid Coral. This was a nice color to use during the spring because it's nice and light, and it just, you know, these are great blushes if you're starting out, like I said, so I would recommend them, but I just don't reach for them anymore. Next up is this e.l.f. Translucent Mattifying Powder. It only comes in one color that I know of, but it's a really great drugstore, like just blotting powder, you know, for touch-ups on a day-to-day basis. I invested in a higher end like Estee Lauder powder that I'm really happy with, and I find myself not reaching for this anymore. So just gonna toss this because the last product from e.l.f. I've got is this color Ripe Rose. It's like a deep red. It's actually kind of a almost marsala kind of color. It's a little too red, I guess. I never found myself reaching for this. I think it just didn't really, the color didn't really do anything for my face. So that's getting tossed. A few more random lip products. I've got this, let's see, I think this is Avon. I think I got this from an Avon like gathering. It's called Give Dreams. It's one of those freebies, but it's pretty like borderline like corally red. Just never find myself reaching for it. So tossing this. Also, I I got one of these as a freebie. This is a Bobbi Brown lip gloss in the color Rose Sugar. It's such a teeny tiny cute little thing, but okay, I don't know if this is like for all Bobbi Brown lip glosses. Tell me if I'm right, but it just felt way too sticky. It's right here, and it just was not comfortable on my lips. So that was a 100-point perk wasted at Sephora. Next up I've got is this sample of Catherine. It's a brand by a woman who used to work for Estee Lauder. She was on their executive team. I met her at some blogger networking event last year, and they were giving out these, oh, it's so clear you can't even tell it. I met her there and she was talking about this brand, and I thought it'd be really good because this lip gloss has an SPF of 15 in it, and how often do lip glosses have SPF in it? Like, I've never encountered that before. If you have, let me know in the comments because I would love to try those out. But yeah, this was kind of fun to try. I don't think I would repurchase it just because it wasn't something I reached for. You know, if I'm not reaching for it, did that come out right? Like, why try to make it work, you know? The next thing I'm throwing out is this other thing from Mary Kay I got for free. It's an eyeshadow. It's called, it doesn't say, but it's pretty. It's got like multiple colors. I just don't find myself reaching for it very much, so that's going out. I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of Mary Kay. There was one lip color that I really did like. It was like a suede color that, I don't know what happened to that. If you guys have any favorite Mary Kay products, let me know too in the comments. I would be willing to experiment with a few more of her stuff this year. Okay, so next color is Sheer Red. This isn't Mary Kay. This is NYC New York color. I was told by a YouTube blogger that this would be a good drugstore red. You know, it just wasn't my thing. I mean, I guess if you're looking for a drugstore red, this is a good place to start because you're not, you know, paying a lot of money for it, but it just never really stayed. The pigmentation isn't quite there for a red, and if you're wearing a red, you really want it to be like there, otherwise it's just gonna look patchy as you wear it throughout the day. Next item is this lip gloss from Almay in the color Almond. It was a pretty pink when I first bought it, and now it's turned into, you can't even see it, it's very sheer. It's turned into this like pinky nude. I think it's turned, so that means it's time to toss it. I wasn't really a fan of this. I mean, I guess it's a good topper if you're trying to sheer out a really strong pop of color on your lips that's within the pink range, but I wouldn't repurchase this again. It just, like, I guess I've upgraded a lot of my makeup products, so like these drugstore things are just, I've got to toss them. If you are looking for a good drugstore lip gloss, I would recommend e.l.f.'s Pink Lemonade. That is my favorite drugstore layering lip gloss. Mascaras. This Voluminous Butterfly mascara, wasn't too impressed by it. It wouldn't hold the curl for my lashes, and I couldn't get over the wand, you know? I'm sure you've seen this on other YouTube channels, but it's just wasn't working for me. And then I got a couple of the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. I don't know, I think these were just thrown in as an extra in a few purchases, and these weren't too impressive either. It wouldn't hold the curl. I mean, it would make my eyelashes black. It has a nice, like, traditional kind of ish. I like the bristly mascaras. So it wasn't too impressive. Next item is this Sonia Kashuk eyelash curler. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this. You know, I have obviously black hair, and if I'm trying to see if I've grabbed all my eyelashes in a curler, like, this is the worst color to use, right? So it's just not very functional, and I didn't even really like the spring on it. It just, you have to push on it really hard to get the curl, and it would get too kinky and just wasn't working for me. So if you've got black eyelashes, I wouldn't recommend this because you're not going to be able to see them. See, it sounds very obvious, but I missed that. What else do I have here? I have this NARS Orgasm. Look at how like just beat up this is. I think I bought this maybe in like 2005 or 2006. I've had this for a very long time. I think I've even gone through one other NARS Orgasm blush. This was my blush in the early or like mid 2000s. It was just really pretty on my cheeks, but now it has too much shimmer for my taste. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't make it work for me anymore. So that's, even though it's like, kind of looks like it's gone through war and it's like got that badge of like, I've been used, I gotta toss it, right? I can't have an emotional attachment to things that I've like had for that long. I think that's like the oldest makeup item I have. Eyelashes from Sephora. I was trying to learn how to put them on my own. They're like the half lashes. I failed miserably with them. I don't know, I just couldn't make them work, and the glue wasn't that good. It's like this super tiny, let me try and open it. This super tiny applicator, and it just like felt very clumsy. Like it doesn't have a precise glue tip, so it was just really hard for me to get the glue on the eyelash. And for a beginner, you know, you want things to be easy when you're trying to do lashes. So that's going in the trash. A few other things I went through. This Mademoiselle Chanel Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. This was my fragrance like 3 years ago. I like wore it every day and I finally ran out of it. It's a little too strong for me now. It's kind of interesting how my nose and my skin and just my taste evolve each year. So that, I guess I just have to throw that away, you know? Like I've been holding on to all these perfume bottles. This other one, Daisy by Marc Jacobs, is a nice, light, just airy, fun, yeah, florally perfume. And it just looks so pretty on my vanity, but now it's getting really dirty, so time to throw that out because it's empty as well. Speaking of empties, here's another one. This is a brush cleaner by MAC. I've been using it for years, but now I'm like, why spend so much for brush cleaner? But with all the information that I've heard about alternative brush cleaners, I think my next step, once I run out of my Sephora gel cleanser for the brush, I'm gonna try using some baby shampoo and see how that works out for me. It's cheap and sounds like it would be like a good option, you know? So yeah, that's going in the trash. I've got this BioSilk Silk Therapy hair, it's not a gel, like serum, it's a serum. And I don't really care for this too much. I prefer the Paul Mitchell Smoothing Serum. It comes with like the green cap. If you're looking for a serum, I would recommend that. That's always been tried and true for me. This next item is from Muji, and it's called Moist Essence. It was a very light moisturizer that I would use during the day, and I love this so much. I've been like trying to get like every little ounce or just a speck of product out from this because I cannot find it at the Muji store anymore. If you see it in a Muji store, definitely let me know because I will buy it in bulk because I love this. This is my favorite moisturizer ever. It just was really good texture. It felt light, but it just felt like a very heavy level of moisturizing without like being like too much. A couple other things. I've got this Lorac eye primer. It came with one of my Lorac Pro palettes. Not a fan of this. I think it dried out my eyes and I would like get this weird like allergic reaction to it and it would turn red and I would have to use cortisone cream to make it calm down. So never using these again. That's about it, I guess, for my Great Purge of 2015. A lot of it is drugstore, some of it are samples. I hope you guys found this helpful and informative. That's why I share these things. If you'd like to keep up with me on a daily basis, make sure you find me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheDailyLindsay. That's where I love to talk to you guys when I'm not here. And yeah, that'll do it for today. I hope you all are having a great week and I'll see you soon. Bye!